Matt, thanks for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right, Matt, August 2nd, you and your brother Jeff compete in what is being called one of the last dream tag team matches there is. And then in a recent interview, the Young Bucks state that, and I'm quoting here, the younger, better version of you is going to take you down. How do you respond to that?
I think that's adorable to actually believe that. It's very fun. It's very fun to listen to these guys. These guys are talented. But there's one thing about it. When they made the Hardy Boys, they broke the mold. And there will never be another Matt Jeff Hardy. We are an anomaly. There's never been a tag team that has performed over the course of 22 years on the level that we have. And whenever we walk into the arena that day on August 2nd, we will show the Young Bucks why the originals are the best.
Awesome. Matt, you are currently the Ring of Honor Iconic Champion. Now, for those of you who are listening who don't know what that is the innovative creator and originator of a newfound industry champion.
Good job.
Thank you.
You've done your homework.
Thank you. Yes, I have. So, what's it like working for Ring of Honor right now?
It's been very enjoyable. Ring of Honor, I get to go there. There's a lot of new, young, upstart, very talented guys, and I'm kind of like the older guy that has been with WWE for many, many years, for 13 years, and has been world traveled, and I kind of come in there as the big star. So for me, it's very creatively rewarding because I get to do a different role, something that I always get to do. I kind of get to be the big shot when I'm there. And to go in and work with these young, talented guys is a lot of fun, and also it's very creatively rewarding because I get to play a different role. I get to be the big bad guy.
All right, yeah. Matt, so you've worked in just about every promotion during your tenure in professional wrestling. What do you still have left to accomplish in the business?
I don't know. I really, I'll be honest, when I'm asked that question, I don't set an end game. I don't have like a final goal that I'm wanting to accomplish. I mean, really right now, I just want to be happy. I want to be creatively satisfied, and I want to be as healthy as possible. So I just try and maintain and dictate a schedule where I allow my body time to recuperate, especially getting a little bit older. But I just try and contribute to the business, and I try and help out younger guys, and I try and give back now because I feel like I have gotten a lot of great things out of this business, so I feel like it's my obligation to give back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so since you're still very actively competing on the independent level, on the pro level, who really grabs your attention right now, like on the independent level and then maybe on the professional level? Do you have any favorites right now?
I mean, there's several guys at Ring of Honor that really stand out. I mean, Jay Briscoe is amazing. I've worked with him quite a bit. Adam Cole, which became the guy that became my progeny, the guy that I took underneath my wing and I mentored him. He's amazing. Both of those guys are destined for superstardom, and they're both amazing. If you haven't seen Jay Briscoe or Adam Cole, one of the first things I would do is to check these guys out because I highly recommend both of them.
That's awesome. So what about the pro level, like let's say TNA, WWE, anybody there that's really caught your attention?
Yeah, I mean, now that I'm kind of, been working with the Ring of Honor, but also TNA as well, I think EC3, I think Ethan Carter has done great. I think Rockstar Spud is a very entertaining guy. I'm a fan of Austin Aries. I think he does great stuff. TNA has an extremely talented roster, and they have a lot of great young guys. I think TNA is just really trying to find their niche, and if they can find their niche, I think they have all the elements to be great. They just have to kind of figure out what their niche is and what they are exactly.
Sure. All right. Matt, there's some big stories happening this year. We had the streak ending. We had CM Punk quitting. Is there anything that's happened this past year that maybe made Matt Hardy say wow, or anything that has shocked you recently that's happened in the business? Maybe we can get your point of view on?
I'll be honest, man. It's funny you would ask that just because I said, a couple of years ago, nothing really shocks me anymore. Like the one great thing about wrestling, especially professional wrestling, is because it is a bit of a controlled sport, and kind of it's entertainment to a degree. Like anything can happen, and anything is possible. So truly, almost nothing shocks me nowadays. I'm always excited to see what the next big thing is. Anything can happen in pro wrestling. That's what makes it so fun.
You said it, yeah.
Okay, so you've won in WWE. Let's just say tons of championships. You won the ECW championship, the United States championship, hardcore, European, and cruiserweight championships. Now, this is just the singles titles that we're talking about. So, during your run in WWE, which one of those really meant the most to you? I mean, obviously they all had a special place for you, but what out of all of those do you think is your crowning singles run in WWE?
I mean, man, as a singles champion, it was really important when I first won the United States title. That was a big deal because that was my first major singles title. And obviously, when I was on the ECW brand, I became the ECW heavyweight champion, and I was like the representative of the brand. That was very important. But even looking past that, I mean, those are singles titles, obviously. When you go back to that first ever World Tag Team title I won, that was my brother and I. That was our dream. When we were kids and we wanted to be in the business, our goal was to one day be the WWE Tag Team Champions, and that happened. And anything past that was extra credit. So that was a really special moment. But going forward, the U.S. title was very important. The ECW title was important, and now currently I hold 7 heavyweight titles across regional promotions, across the United States. So I enjoy winning titles, and it's very important. But it's almost like one of those things, like in wrestling. It's like winning the Oscar or winning an Academy Award, because it just shows that you are the best at what you're doing currently. And that's one thing that's a lot of fun. That's almost how I look at it now, as far as winning a championship. It's like you are deserving and rewarding of being the best in your field at that chosen time.
All right. Matt, we also recently spoke with Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and he mentioned that you and Rebby Sky recently filmed Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies with him. How did you guys end up joining the cast, and anything funny maybe happen on set?
Man, it's always a blast with Hacksaw. Hacksaw's such a great guy. I can't say enough good things about him. We were kind of in and out. We actually had travel issues one day, so we were supposed to shoot 4 days originally. We had to kind of pack everything in 3 days. A lot of fun though. One of the coolest things I thought with Hacksaw was when it was all said and done, he was the guy that finally, after I got bit by a zombie and affected and became a zombie, Hacksaw was the guy that finally put the death stroke on me. So that was a very sentimental moment for us, and also a special moment. But we also laughed about it in many ways. Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies is one of those things. It's almost like a very campy '80s horror movie where you go in and you don't watch it too seriously. It's also quite a comedy as well as being a horror. But you just kind of go into it with an open mind and have a good time. It's a fun movie to watch.
That's awesome. You're responsible for several of the greatest matches of all time. With the WWE Network, people now get to go back and see a lot of your matches, not to mention new fans that maybe have never seen any of your matches before. So if you were telling somebody, hey, you just got the network, these are the matches of mine that you should watch, are there any that you have that you could suggest to people?
Oh, wow, that's a good question. I would say go back and watch go back and watch some of the early Hardy Boys, and watch how we kind of parlayed, especially me, over time to being a more solid wrestler and overall performer. Like especially after 2005, when I came back after being gone with ACL surgery, and I worked against Edge. Those were some classic matches. Into the whole program with MVP. I actually felt like I was a very solid performer, especially from a psychology standpoint at that point. Because one thing I'm trying to stress to new guys now is wrestling isn't necessarily about the moves and how great of a move you can do, or how impressive of a move you can do. It's really about the moments, because that's what pro wrestling's about. It's not about the move; it's about the moment, because those moments are what last forever, and that's what a casual fan always remember. When you go back and think about Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair, they had a great match at WrestleMania, and they did a lot of really cool stuff, especially Shawn Michaels. But the moment that everyone remembers there is when Shawn's about to super kick him, and he looks at Rick and he says, "I'm sorry, I love you," and then he super kicks him. Those moments are what wrestling is all about.
Great, Matt. I mean, you said once again, too, with the Hardy Boys. I mean, on August 2nd, once again, you're teaming up with your brother to face the Young Bucks. How does it feel to be able to not only be doing what you love, but to be tagging with your brother Jeff once again for this show?
I mean, every time Jeff and I team up, it's like magic. I mean, it really is. I think the older we get, the more we appreciate it. And we're both very comfortable with who we are in our lives. And, I feel like we found victory in life and being, comfortable within our own skin. And every time we get together and team up, it's truly special. I mean, the easiest way for me to describe it is magic. And the Young Bucks are a great team. I know they watched the Hardy Boys when they were coming up. They watched the Rockers when they were coming up, and they were inspired by both teams. But once we get the chance to, have the past generation versus the current generation, we're still going to show them we're not ready to hand over the crown quite yet.
All right. So speaking of Jeff, you both created Omega, and for the fans out there that are just tuning in, or maybe they haven't heard of Omega, it is the Organization of Modern Extreme Grappling Arts. And, once you guys have finished with wrestling, have you ever given any thought to maybe reviving your promotion or even creating like your own school? I know a lot of people like Kurt Hawkins he just opened a school. So have you guys given any thought to that?
Oh, man, you're a little bit behind the curve. Omega's back already. It's been revived.
Oh, well.
We've been doing some Omega shows. Right now, because I've stayed so busy between my schedule, between just doing independent appearances and doing Ring of Honor and TNA, the Hurricane, Shane Helms, is actually kind of actively running it. Obviously, I have input into it and kind of a creative job in it. But Omega's up and running. Our next event is September 20th, actually in Smithfield, North Carolina. But we've had some amazing stuff there. Myself and Jeff, we had a dream match against the Briscoes a while back, which sold out of the arena and was an amazing match. Truly great stuff. And that match is available on the Omega DVD, which you can get at shopmatthardy.com right now.
Awesome. Matt, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask this. Now, you're in Ring of Honor, you're in TNA, but I think one of the biggest questions a lot of people always like to ask or want to know is that will we ever see Matt or Jeff back in the WWE?
Yeah, I think it's inevitable. I really do. I think a lot of this timing. Currently, just under contract in TNA. I work with TNA, but I'm a free agent. I'm under contract. But I think when it's all said and done, I think that the Hardy Boys will ride off into that one last midnight to the sunset and go down into the Hall of Fame. So, I think that is something that is kind of inevitable.